Everyone. This is a quick recording of the Python Bootcamp Day 3 Getting Started with Environments, specifically conda environments. Conda environments are a way to manage and control Python packages in a environment structure, kind of like standalone sets of packages. So far in this bootcamp, we have stayed within the Jupyter Notebooks interface. For instance, we've used those default packages that are available in Anaconda. We even added a package to Conda using the avocado, I almost said avocado, Anaconda Navigator. So we use the traditional approach now, Anaconda Navigator, which is right here, to add different packages. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to start by going through virtual environments. Now, we'll go through the process of how to get started with this. The challenge is that it's not always the most straightforward process to get started with virtual environments. As Uku mentioned during day 2, for approaches like GIS analyses, deep learning, or other very specific and complicated Python workflows, it can be nice to have your own environment. This environment consists of a directory containing some scripts and the totality of the packages that we wish to use in our analysis. You may not find this important now, but I'm recording this for you so that someday when you decide, I'm really having a lot of version conflicts, I need to do my thesis and I can't get it like it was before, the solution to that is specifically conda environments. So how we get started in general is this approach here. We start on the terminal or command prompt within Jupyter Notebooks. Within that Jupyter Notebooks context, we create an environment using the conda create command. We then install packages into this environment using conda install. We activate this environment using conda activate. We then install additional packages, so packages that might be on that other package manager called pip, and then we add that environment into our Jupyter Notebooks instance so we can access it from Jupyter. There's also an entire approach totally based on pip using virtual envi or virtual env, but that's beyond the scope of our training today. So to get started for step 1, what we're going to do is we're going to create the environment. We need to open a Jupyter Notebooks terminal or a Jupyter Notebooks command prompt. To do this, what we do is we go to our main Jupyter file window. We click on New, and then we want to go down to Terminal. Now, you on Windows might find yourself a little confused here. You might not see Terminal. You might see Command Prompt or PowerShell. That's okay. Click on that. You also might see nothing here. You might just see text file or folder. If that's the case, what you should do is you should start by going to the Anaconda prompt at your Windows search bar. So go down to the Windows search section, type Anaconda prompt at the search section, and continue on with the analysis. What we'll do in terminal through that window. So no matter how you got to it, you will get to a terminal next. It's that classic black box with white text. And we can see here that this is an Anaconda terminal. It says base. This is the default environment for Anaconda, the base environment for Anaconda. So now here we have this nice Jupyter terminal here. If I go back to my Jupyter Notebooks, I'll see that I want to create. So I can actually just copy and paste. I can copy from here, conda create. And to break this down, we're using the conda. We're passing it the argument create. We're then passing it end, which means we want to name this. And we're reminding it we want Python 3.7. If we press enter, for me, it's going to ask if you want to remove this environment. I don't, because I already have one. But for you, and actually if I just choose it to create another environment, like this too, it will then solve the environment. It'll ask me if I want to proceed, and I do. And it will prepare, verify, and execute the transaction, downloading these packages onto my home directory. And so once I've done that, what we'll do, so now we've activated the environment here. And so we now, or we actually haven't activated the environment, but we've downloaded and set up this environment here. So if we go back here, the next step is to install packages into this environment. So we have some default ones, but we might want to add more. One question that you might have is, what did we just do? How did we use conda create? How did I know to pass in n? Remember, we always want to look to that documentation. So we can look at the documentation that's -n by default. For naming, we can look at this. We have named arguments, just like Uku was talking about in day one, -n or double dash name. Note if you copy and paste the double dash, sometimes it comes out as a single dash. It auto switches it depending on what program you put it in. You always want to make sure you're using the double dashes. Double dash is very important. Another thing that's nice is the dry run or /d. If you want to display what would have been done without doing it, that can be really nice. I like to do that if I think I'm making a mistake. The -d is really nice. I like to think of it as dash don't do this. If that's kind of a nice way to think about it. Okay, so it's basically the same as what we did before. We're prepared. We've created this environment. We use the conda create thing. We pass some arguments in there. And now we want to use conda install. So we pass again the name, and let's say we wanted to do some image recognition. So maybe a machine learning workflow. I will pass in this case, conda install -n pybc, my environment. Mine is actually pybc2, but I'll just leave it in my regular environment. Pillow matplotlib. It's going to solve the environment. For me, it's going to say that all packages are currently installed. For you, it'll ask if you want to install these packages. You can press the Y key and then enter. So it's yes and enter. And then it will install them for you. Pillow is an excellent image analysis software based on PIL, and Matplotlib is a core plotting package in Python. So now we've installed these into our environment. Next thing we have to do, and note that conda reminded us of this up here, it said you'll have to, once you start the environment, you'll have to activate it. So here it says to activate pybc, conda activate. You'll note that right now I'm on base, so anytime I call Python or write anything in Python, it's going to be the base conda. We want to use our specific environment. Conda activate pybc. Now you can see pybc Python Bootcamp is now available. And so if I go back here, what we've done is we've activated this. So now anytime I call Python, I'm going to get Python. Well, this is a little different because of my setup. But if you call Python, you'll get that Python 3.7 environment. My path is a little different. It's currently defaulting to Python 2.7. But yours will work. And so what we've done is we've set up this environment to store all our packages in a really nice and convenient manner. We've activated that environment, and now I can use pip install if I wanted to install PyCharacter. So if you're running an older version of Python like me, you'll get an error here. Don't worry if you do, but you'll just want to do pip install PyCharacter. And that will, in this environment, install and run that command. But now if we wanted to connect this environment to our Python kernel, right? So we might want to be able to work with this very efficiently or quickly. And so as I mentioned before, my versions of, I was playing around with Python 2.7. So this, you probably will not get this error unless you were like me and playing around with Python 2.7. But we're still in this pybc environment. And so what we'll want to do is we want to run this command, ipython kernel install user name --name equal to pybc. Now you might note that I could just do -n, but I wanted to show you the full named arguments so that it's easier for you. And so I want to install this. In fact, all it does is copy over some materials into the Jupyter instance. It'll report back something like this. And so now if you go under new, you'll actually see PYBC here. So this is a really convenient way to store all of your packages that where they're already installed and loaded in one place. I actually do this, so I've reinstalled Anaconda just to make sure I'm on the same settings as you. And I actually have like 10 of these that I leave. So if I'm going to do a deep learning project, I have all my deep learning libraries set up. If I want to do a GIS project, I go to GIS and so on. So it's a really convenient way to organize all your packages in one. I hope this was helpful. I can totally understand you might be a little confused. That's okay. If I do want to leave this environment, I just conda deactivate, like so, and I'm back into the base environment. So these are pretty challenging. I made this for you because this is something that I've always struggled with. And so managing environments can be challenging, but it's totally possible. And I just wanted to show you the documentation. You're always welcome to reach out to us anytime if you have any questions. So hopefully this was useful for you. Hope you're liking the boot camp. Just trying to give you some things to reference after you leave. Again, I'm Kyle Monahan. This was kind of all a joint effort for us at the boot camp, so hope it was useful to you. Take care.